Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. My name is Sabrina and today I have my very first Ninja Creami frozen yogurt recipe. And I have to say it is quickly becoming a favorite. I really like this one and it has incredible macros. It is around 250 calories with 36 grams of protein, which I think is just insane for how delicious it is. So we're gonna get into this super simple recipe, but before we do, if you enjoy this video, please feel free to give it a like and subscribe to my channel. All right, let's get into it. Okay, I'm not kidding when I say this is a really easy recipe. You're gonna have 4 main ingredients and then you can add sweetener if you like. So obviously peaches are the star of the show. This is 1 whole peach that I just cut up. It is approximately 125 grams because, you know, I like to measure everything and have that really precise for you, but a small medium peach is going to work great. And if you haven't watched any of my creamy videos before, I tend to do all single serving because I don't like to share ice cream. So this is going to be a recipe for 1. You could always make more if you wanted more. But so I'm going to go ahead and add my peaches into my little blender cup. Now, honestly, I don't think you would have any trouble with this recipe if you didn't blend it all up beforehand. The peach is nice and soft and the rest of the ingredients are really soft as well. So I don't think you'll do any damage to your creamy. I've done it without blending it up before. But just to make sure everything is fully incorporated, we're going to be using the blender cup today. So in addition to our 125 grams or approximately 1 peach, we're going to be adding 1 small container of yogurt. So this is FAGE. I think FAGE just has the best texture, but you really could use any plain non-fat Greek yogurt. You could also use peach yogurt if you want. FAGE has great macros. It's just 80 calories and 16 grams of protein. So that's part of the reason this is such a high protein treat. And each FAGE is 150 grams or 5.3 ounces. You could do, you know, about 5 ounces if you just have a big tub, or if you have one of these little containers, then just go ahead and get the whole thing in there. Okay, next up, I'm going to be adding half a scoop, which is about 15 grams of vanilla protein powder. And you can use any kind you like. I really like the PE Science Gourmet Vanilla. I think it tastes delicious and ensures a nice texture. But for this recipe, you're going to be doing half a scoop. And that's about 15 grams. Okay, so now it's time to add your milk of choice. I'm going to be using this Friendly Farms 2% reduced fat ultra filtered milk, which is a mouthful. I got this from Aldi, and as far as I can tell, this is a knockoff to Fairlife milk, which also looks very similar, but it has a pretty similar nutritional panel as well. So for 1 cup, it's 120 calories and 14 grams of protein. That is part of the reason you see this in a lot of creamy recipes, if not this knockoff, then actual Fairlife, which I also love. This is just a great milk that's going to add some extra protein and a nice, lovely creaminess. So I'm going to be adding half a cup of milk to this recipe, which is 120 mils, if you really want to be precise. Okay, great. Now the final ingredient is optional. It will be fine without it. And because this is a frozen yogurt, which traditionally is a bit more tart, you can really decide how sweet do you want to make it. I know a lot of people like that tartness from the yogurt. I like sweet stuff. So I'm gonna add, I don't know, maybe like a teaspoon. Okay, my mixture is all set. I'm just gonna pop the lid on and then let's get to blending and get it into our container. All right, just shaking it up a little bit. Let's get it onto the blender. We're just gonna smooth it out. And that's it. I don't know how long that took, but it's gotta be like 10 seconds. And this will just ensure that everything is fully incorporated. So once you have your mixture, you're just gonna pour it into your creamy pot. And I think even though this is single serve and 36 grams of protein, that is looking like it's going to make a substantial amount of frozen yogurt for me. So I'm very excited. And I tend to use these little rubber spatulas. They help me get into the whole kind of blender bottle here because I don't want to miss out on any of my Froyo. Okay, so I have gotten all my creamy mixture into here. Again, I feel like it's made a really good amount and I'm very excited. And one tip, if you're trying to gauge how sweet you want your creamy to be, is you can always just try a little bit of the mixture and see if you like it or not. So I did have a little bit of a taste. I thought it was perfect. It was sweet, but still had a little bit of tartness from the yogurt. So all I'm gonna do now is pop this into the freezer and I will see you in 24 hours for this amazing treat. All right, guys, we are back. It is 24 hours later. I've just put my creamy inside of the creamy canister, and we're going to be spinning this on light ice cream. I just wanted to mention before that I do let my creamy sit out for about 10 to 15 minutes, and I find that helps spin it up a little bit quicker, so that's a tip you can try, but let's go ahead and put it on light ice cream. Okay, so we have just completed the first spin, and this is what it's looking like so far. It's a little bit powdery. One of the things I like to do is just go around the edges with a mini spatula and just scrape down the sides a bit. Now this isn't actually too bad in terms of the powdery, and that's completely normal too. What I often do if it's really powdery is just put a little bit of liquid in the middle. So I'll do that with some almond milk. And then we'll just give it another respin and see where we're at. You can always keep respinning until you get the texture you want, but I actually think we're not too far away from getting to delicious frozen yogurty flavor right here. So this is looking really nice. It only took one extra respin. I'm gonna go ahead and put some in a bowl just to make it look nice. But in terms of toppings, you don't have to do any toppings. As I said, the macros on this are already amazing. You're getting over 30 grams of protein, under 300 calories. But I do like to sometimes put a little bit of cereal in here, like Cinnamon Toast Crunch, or you could use granola as well. But really, it's up to you. I mean, you get to enjoy this whole pint and hit your macros. So amazing. All right, so here it is. I've just put it in a nice little bowl for me. I had a test and I really love the tartness, but it's still sweet and tastes so yummy and creamy with the peach. So I really enjoy this recipe. I hope you do too. If you do, please look out for my next Ninja Creami video. I'm sure I will have one up for you soon. Thanks so much for watching. Bye.